Let's do.
We're not doing a countdown. Too late. What is up, everybody? Long time no see. How has everybody been? It's been a while. When was the last time we did a live stream? Like since like March or something, right?
Since it was the NFL playoffs.
No, I think the last time. Let me check the last time we did this. The last time we did these live streams was like 6 months ago on March 18th. So first live stream since March 18th, y'all. We're glad to be back here. Tonight's live stream is things off of the NFL games. We do a little preview / predictions for tomorrow's games. And first off, wise, we saw on Thursday night the Browns and the Steelers game this past Thursday night. So what are your thoughts on that from that game?
Well, it's exactly how I expected it to go down. Cleveland is a much better, stronger, and more physical football team. And, there's just isn't enough for the Pittsburgh Steelers to be able to compete right now. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. I think that changes this season. He doesn't even know who the quarterback is going to be entering next week. I mean, it could change from Kenny Pickett to Mitch Trubisky. I mean, there's a lot of unanswered things. TJ Watt is out for a few weeks with an injury. So, I mean, their defense and offense basically right now are just non-existent right now.
Yeah, and first thing I want to get dealt with, I'm not sure whose idea was to put Thursday Night Football on Prime.
If we had a rant of the week, that's what it would be.
Yeah, that's gonna be our rant of the week. That can be you guys both rant of the week for the first time ever. Charles and Eliza's rant of the week: Thursday Night Football on Prime Video.
How are you supposed to draw fans when you're making them pay $4.99 a month to watch football when it's supposed to be on TV every week?
And plus, my question is, why don't they have it like for people who don't have Thursday Night Football on like a regular
NFL
TV,
Network or something
like NFL Network? Yeah, because remember at work on Thursday night, people were saying, "I'm gonna go to watch the game." No one's gonna watch the game at we can't get in the restaurant or get the game out on the restaurant. Like we can't get that game. You can watch the replay on Friday.
I have my NFL Red Zone, which I highly recommend you guys get.
Right. Hang on a second. But so yeah, let's keep on continuing. So we're gonna do some. Is there any storylines hanging into this NFL week so far they've been seeing or anything at all?
What was that?
Have there been any storylines you've been seeing leading into this weekend in the NFL?
Yes, there is one storyline that I must emphasize, and that is tomorrow at 4:25 when the Green Bay Packers take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady will be without Julio Jones and Mike Evans. Mike Evans suspended without pay for that one game because of his involvement in the brawl last week against New Orleans. So he'll be without two of his primary targets in Julio Jones and Mike Evans. And that may be crucial. And that may decide the whole ball game here if you're actually being honest.
Wait, what's that? Okay, there we go. What is this? Whoa. Copyright. That's copyright.
Con ninguno particularmente de su presencia.
What are you watching?
I don't know. It just started playing. It just started playing something. I don't know what it played. Speaking Spanish.
So let's start with our first predictions for tomorrow. Got the Houston Texans playing at the Chicago Bears.
Whoa. I already got it pulled up right here.
Oh.
ESPN, right here.
I got it too. I'll ask the first one. You ask the second one. So, all right. So, Chicago or Houston at Chicago. Who do you got for that game? Is that Soldier Field in Chicago? You
Well, there is rain in the forecast in Chicago tomorrow.
Remember what happened last time it happened?
But
A rain game happened in Chicago.
This one is really, really tough. And I'll say that because Chicago hasn't looked great, but they haven't looked bad either. Chicago is favored by 3 points at home. The over-under is 39. If I were betting on that game, I would easily take the under on that one. Houston had a big lead in week 1 against the Colts that ended up blowing it and ended up tying. Last week they were in it most of the game against the Denver Broncos, which Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson need to get on the same page, but we'll get to that in just a second when we get to that game. But honestly, I feel like Houston is the better football team. I really haven't seen much to prove that Justin Fields is the guy for Chicago. I mean, I know he won in week 1, but you got to think that was mainly a run-dominant game with how slippery the field was. So
Yeah.
I really haven't seen anything to prove that Chicago is, in fact, the place where Justin Fields is the guy there. I honestly have Houston winning this football game, and I have them covering too. Houston at +3.
Houston +3, that's not a bad prediction. Especially, the last time Chicago was in that game, they played in the rain that was against the 49ers. The Bears ended up winning just barely against the 49ers. But we'll see if that prediction holds true. Elijah, what's the other game that's happening following after that game, that's starting as well?
Well, we also have Baltimore, who is traveling up to Foxborough, Massachusetts.
Whoa. What about Las Vegas at Tennessee?
I'm doing it right down the list here. I'm on ESPN.com, and I'm just popping up the list that it gives me.
On mine, there's on mine is Las Vegas at Tennessee.
Well, mine shows the Ravens and the Patriots. We'll do that one first. The Ravens and the Patriots. The Ravens going into Foxborough. They're 2.5-point favorites. Over-under is at 44. Supposed to be a nice 64-degree day in Massachusetts tomorrow.
That's not bad.
New England. Let's talk about them right quick. They really haven't shown, and I'm sorry, Mike and Nicole, but they really haven't shown that they are a dominant team. You think of the New England Patriots, you think dominant. Bill Belichick's been there for a long time. He's really built that dynasty, that franchise. I really haven't seen anything that proves me otherwise. I mean, in week 1, you go down to Miami and you get absolutely torched.
Yeah.
Then last week, you barely beat a struggling Pittsburgh team by 3 points. I gotta see some more from New England here. I got Baltimore by 17 points here.
I go like the same thing. The Patriots. Like you said, losing to the Dolphins again at Miami, and plus then the Patriots go down to Miami the week of the game, on a Tuesday or something.
Yeah, they were there all week.
And how did that work? The flag on the Gamecocks game. The Gamecocks has scored. What? Marshall Lloyd just made after that sound. Anyway, I feel like the Ravens, I can see them actually, winning. And then they got Lamar Jackson. But you know how the Ravens did.
Well, the Ravens did blow a lead of themselves last week against
Miami. Yeah, so.
I still think Baltimore is the better team by far.
Yeah, I feel like. Sorry, Mike and Nicole, if you watch the live streams, we're very sorry. Don't fire us. Anyway, let's talk about the Las Vegas Raiders versus Tennessee Titans game. Elijah, games being played in Nashville. I'm gonna say give me Tennessee Titans. I think the Titans win that game. Unless you have something to say about that.
I would like to agree with you, but what I've seen from Tennessee is they got beat by a very overrated New York Giants team and a very overrated Buffalo team on Monday night. And Buffalo just absolutely dominated in all facets of the game from start to finish. So, I honestly don't know what to expect from Tennessee. I don't even know if Ryan Tannehill is going to be starting tomorrow night. They brought in Mike Willis or Michael, whatever the dude's name is, at the end of the game last week, and he actually looked pretty good. But Derek Carr, they had a 20-7 lead entering the fourth quarter last week against Arizona, and ended up losing in overtime. But I like Vegas in this game. I like Vegas a lot. I think Josh McDaniels has them looking good. I think he'll get his first win as Raider head coach this week.
All right, that sounds pretty good. A good prediction for both of us. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We got after the following. We got also in 1 p.m. kickoff game. Got the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Mainly, the Chiefs got Patrick Mahomes and
Chiefs by 1,000.
Chiefs. I say the same thing. There's no reason to say how they're going to win that game. It's just this Chiefs automatic.
Especially
Chiefs.
when the Colts are coming off of a shutout loss. A shutout loss against the Jacksonville Jaguars last week. I mean, they have really struggled in Jacksonville. A lot of Colts fans that I know and have seen on social media want Frank Reich fired. And honestly, I don't blame them. They brought Frank Reich in after he was the offensive coordinator with the Eagles. And he actually won a Super Bowl as the offensive coordinator with the Eagles. But honestly, they brought him in to win. They brought him in to make the playoffs, to win the AFC. And that's just something that hasn't been done yet. And I think the Colts fans are finally getting a little anxious, a little restless. Even though this is in Indy, I like Kansas City by a lot.
Same here. Now let's talk about Buffalo Bills playing down in Miami and South Florida. The Bills won't be doing the same thing that the Patriots did. Idiots. Well, as we know, you got the Bills. When they beat the LA Rams, and after that, who did the Bills beat? Did they play? Who did they play last week?
Tennessee.
And then did they win that? End up winning that game, or was it like a?
Buffalo did win.
So those are start off 2-0. They're playing at Miami. What are your thoughts on that game? I feel like the Bills could probably win, possibly.
Well, see, I think this game could be a toss-up. I mean, they're calling for thunderstorms all day tomorrow in the Miami area.
I wonder why.
With impacts bracing from that tropical
Hurricane.
storm or hurricane, whatever you want to call it.
Well, Hurricane Fiona.
Honestly, Buffalo hasn't been tested yet, I don't think. Tomorrow will be a battle-tested game for them, and here's the reason why. They really haven't seen a mobile quarterback, a dual-threat quarterback like Tua, and they haven't seen weapons like Tyreek Hill, like Jalen Waddle. Miami's at home here. They have Buffalo favored by 5. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Tua had a great game last week. I think he's going to build off of that and have another good game tomorrow. I would not be shocked if Miami ends up winning this game.
Well, as you were saying that, so South Carolina is forced to throw it over, but I feel like it could be a close game, but I kind of do. I think the Bills could probably win though. Sorry to our new coworker Ashley. That just said that the Dolphins are going to actually beat Buffalo. We'll see what happens. Let's now talk about
turn.
Detroit at Minnesota. Come on, or at least gotta go in order.
No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that one yet.
Okay.
I am looking forward to this game tomorrow at 1 o'clock on Fox.
Eagles versus Commanders, aren't
the Eagles are favored 6.5 points They go to their second home in Washington. Eagles fans take over Washington every year. Tomorrow will be the same. We, of course, Philadelphia and Washington, a division rivalry. But not only that, Carson Wentz faces his former team in Philadelphia for the first time. I think there's going to be a lot of adrenaline for Carson Wentz. You know, Jalen Hurts coming off of a phenomenal game in which Philadelphia just absolutely destroyed Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings on prime time. But again, it is Kirk Cousins on prime time, so I shouldn't be shocked at that. But you know, they have looked good this year. Their defense looked shaky in week one. They rebounded much better in last week's win. I think they're going to get tested here by Carson Wentz. I do expect this game to go either way, honestly, and I'm saying this as a you know what fan. Um, I I got the Eagles winning, but I have the Eagles winning and not covering the spread.
That is that's an interesting prediction coming from an Eagles fan. Now let's talk about I want the 1 o'clock games. We're getting closer. So the next game I want to talk about. Let's talk about Detroit and Minnesota. Elijah, you know, Detroit's playing in Minnesota at US Bank Stadium, but Detroit's kind of starting. They're kind of a decent team this year. Decent team. You know they got DeAndre Swift at the running back, and pretty much the Lions want to be at least have at least a decent season this year, not be a meme and lose almost every week.
Yeah, and you know, Detroit looked good in week one against the Eagles. You know, they were down 30, what was it, 38-14 at one point. They came back, tried to make it interesting. Ultimately, ended up falling in that game 38-35. But then they played Washington last week. Now, I loved what I saw from Jared Goff last week. And I know not a lot of people like Jared Goff, but I liked what I saw out of Jared Goff last week. And his favorite target, Amon St. Brown, he looked really good as well. Kirk Cousins, 3 interceptions in the red zone last week. That's just unexcusable. Justin Jefferson was a non-factor in that ball game, as we all saw. Darius Slay just got, locked him up, kept him in check all night.
Yeah.
The running game really wasn't effective for Minnesota. I look for Minnesota to come out and try to get their playmakers involved early and often.
So you think the Vikings are going to win this game?
But I think Dane Campbell and the Detroit Lions are going to come to US Bank Stadium ready to play. And
take care of business.
I think Detroit wins this game.
Ooh. And Minnesota. So, I feel like to go for Detroit, you got to get that crowd out of it, though. You cannot, again, US Bank Stadium, that's the new stadium is it's kind of tough to play there, right? Maybe, isn't it? Not really.
No, it is kind of tough playing there, but Dane Campbell has them playing never give up, never say die attitude football right now. And that's what I think Detroit's going to use to win the football.
South Carolina's taking care of the defense. South Carolina's playing good in the second half right now. 35-14 lead in the third quarter.
Second half team.
Right. Now let's talk about Joe Shiesty and the Bengals playing at the New York Jets. Elijah, the defending AFC champs, not off the hot start. They just, I don't know, Elijah. What's going on with the overhyped team, or what do you think of the Bengals so far this year? So far to start off the year.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think it is. I think it's an overhyped team that Zach Taylor had one fairy tale ending last year and winning the AFC North. Ended up going to the AFC Championship game and beating Patrick Mahomes. I do think they are overhyped. I don't think they're that good. I think they had one good year and everybody started praising them. Zach Taylor isn't a good head coach, but if there's a team they're going to rebound against, it's going to be the New York Jets.
But we did know that the Jets, beat the Browns in that blew a lead in Cleveland.
Yeah, but I think it's Cincinnati. Jets are really a down team. They have Joe Flacco starting once again this week. I think Cincinnati is a little bit too much for New York, and I think Cincinnati picks up their first win of the year.
Okay, that sounds like a very good prediction. Now let's talk about tomorrow in Charlotte. The New Orleans Saints taking on my Carolina Panthers. Not a good start for the Panthers. I mean, I saw it coming. Baker Mayfield is just not. No. I hate to say it, as a Panthers fan, I see the Saints winning at home at Panthers at Carolina tomorrow afternoon.
Well, Charles,
it could be close, but the Panthers are 0-2.
Charles,
lost to the Browns.
The thing about Carolina is the coach, Matt Rule. They gave him that lucrative deal when he was hired in 2020, and he just hasn't lived up to the hype.
It was Matt Rule coached in college, so he's at a different level. Some college coaches, they can coach at full level.
Baker Mayfield hasn't looked great for Carolina yet, but there really isn't any other option right now. And Sam Darnold is out with an injury, and Matt Corral is out for the season. Carolina, two very tough losses. It looked like they were going to beat Cleveland at home in week 1, but Cade York does a 61-yard field goal to win it at the buzzer. And then same thing happened last week. They were on the road in East Rutherford at MetLife Stadium. Another game-winning field goal allowed by Carolina. They need to avoid the slow start. Yeah. And I think that's something that's really haunted Carolina. Ever since their 3-0 start last year, it really began to fall off the cliff after they blew a 18-3 lead to Philadelphia last year. And I was actually at that game. Everybody was saying that Philadelphia was going to lose, and then they eventually came back. And I think that's what started the downfall for Carolina. Just the slow starts have to be avoided by the Panthers if they have a chance at winning this game. And honestly, I don't think they do, because I haven't seen that otherwise that they cannot get off to a slow start. Yeah. They've been getting out to slow starts every week since that Philadelphia game. And, it's tough because the fans are really good. They get behind their team. They like to cheer for the team. But they're getting a little restless with the head coach right now, Matt Rule. And I think
surprised.
I think if this continues to go on, I would not be surprised if Matt Rule is fired during the middle of the season. But I have New Orleans winning this game.
Definitely. And now we go to the four games that all start for. First game, we got Jacksonville playing at SoFi Stadium against the LA Chargers. Pretty much. I didn't even look at the records. Yeah, I gotta look at the records at first. The LA Chargers, they're. I gotta look at the standings now. The Chargers, right now off to a 1-1 start, same as the Jacksonville Jaguars. Both teams have 1 win and 1 loss. LA is 1 at home, and Jaguars have 1 win at home. But Lars, what are your thoughts, on the Jaguars versus Chargers game tomorrow?
Yeah, look at this. This game could go either way. I mean, right now we don't even know if Justin Herbert is going to play. Yes, he took a really bad hit last week against Kansas City on Thursday Night Football. If Justin Herbert does not play, I think the edge goes to Doug Peterson and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Of course, I know a lot about Jacksonville, or not Jacksonville, but Doug Peterson and his style of play. He's gonna have those players from Jacksonville ready to play. Trevor Lawrence, he looked good last week. James Robinson, he looked good. He's gonna have his team ready to play in Los Angeles, whether or not they play Justin Herbert. I think that there's just injuries, a lot of injuries right now to Los Angeles, and that could come back to haunt the Chargers. I know they're at home and they have home field advantage, but I like Jacksonville on this one.
I say, yeah, you know, it's like this, like good pick, Jaguars. Like Lee Corso on College Game Day, good pick, my friend. Okay, let's talk about another game that follows another LA team, but this time an LA Rams team playing on the road at Arizona. They're the defending Super Bowl champions. Kind of a similar story as well. Kind of not off. They're kind of at a mediocre, decent start in the NFC West, and all teams in that division in the NFC West all have one win and one loss. So, what are your predictions on this LA Rams versus Cardinals game tomorrow, Elijah?
It's going to come down to one thing and one thing only: Kyler Murray.
You saw what he did against the Raiders.
Kyler Murray and his ability to keep plays alive with his legs, make the progressions, and find his receivers down the field. If he can do that, I think Arizona's going to win this game big. Los Angeles almost gave up their lead to the Atlanta Falcons last week after having a 28-3 lead.
Bad. If you're Elijah, what did you say earlier about
if you have a 28-3 lead in football, we saw it today with App State. If you have a 28-3 lead in football, it's not safe. I think Matt Stafford has to get Cooper Kupp involved a little bit more. I haven't liked how they've used Cooper Kupp this year. Same with Cam Akers. I don't like that they are not utilizing probably their best back. He got no reps, no snaps in week 1. He got a few reps last week. I need to see them get their playmakers involved with Cooper Kupp and Cam Akers. If they can do that, I think they'll win this football game. But this is a toss-up right now. I'm leaning toward going with Los Angeles, but I could also see Arizona winning this game.
I feel it's going to be back and forth. I might say Arizona possibly at home. I'd say it's going to be close because we'll see how that ends up going out. But now we got after that game as well. We got the Battle of the Birds, the Atlanta Falcons playing at the Seattle Seahawks, and then with Seattle Washington, home of the 12th man. And Elijah's yawning at that one. I guess it's a boring game. Okay, we'll skip that one.
That's gonna be a boring game. It's gonna come down to.
Yeah, you're right.
It's gonna come down to two things: the Falcons' defense and the Seahawks' offense. If the Falcons' defense cannot do a repeat of last week, I think they win the game. If the Seahawks' offense does what they did in week 1 against Denver, they win this game. I have Seattle winning at home.
Yeah, obviously. Seattle, home of the 12th man. Then you got Green Bay Packers playing at Tampa Bay, battle of the two number 12. So you got Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady going out against each other again, this time in Tampa. What are your thoughts on this one? You got two old quarterbacks playing against each other, two good best quarterbacks in the league. What are your thoughts on this game, and what are your predictions, Elijah?
Well, I said it earlier. Tom Brady's going to be without two of his best playmakers in Julio Jones and Mike Evans, who is serving the suspension from last week against the Saints and his involvement in that fight. Tom Brady doesn't really have any weapons receiving-wise. I can say the same thing about the Green Bay Packers as they placed one of their receivers on IR today. I don't like Tampa here. And I know I'm going to probably regret saying betting against Tom Brady and, this, that, the other thing. It's not because I don't like Tom Brady. And I'm going to say this. I can't stand Tom Brady. I've never been able to stand Tom Brady. His face and his little pretty boy, I can't be touched. Every time they touch me, a flag needs to be thrown. That's what I can't stand about Tom Brady. But with him being without two of his big playmakers, I'm going to look for the Buccaneers defense to step up a little bit. They really have been struggling a lot to start the season. If Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers can run the ball efficiently with A.J. Jones or whatever his name, Aaron Jones, then I think I got Green Bay here. And just because, again, Tom Brady's without his playmakers, I think they're the Packers are gonna try to run the ball down the Buccaneers' throats. That's why they're gonna try to wear out the Bucs defense, and that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Another game I want to talk about. I gotta say Packers though, but anyway, tomorrow night and on Sunday night Sunday football slate. You got the San Francisco 49ers playing at Denver. You got Trey Lance. He's out for a season. So you got Jimmy Garoppolo starting, going up against Russell Wilson. The Broncos. I think a lot of people thought the Broncos with Russell Wilson were going to be at least a decent, pretty good team this year. But what are your thoughts on this Broncos team, and what's your predictions for this game, Elijah?
Yeah, I was one of those people that thought the Broncos were going to have a good year. I thought they were going to compete in the AFC West. Obviously, that has not been the case to this point. Coming off of a loss in Week 1 to Seattle, and then barely beating Houston last week. Jimmy Garoppolo has experience. He's a veteran. He knows what he's doing, but the one thing I still need to figure out is what in the world is Nathaniel Hackett doing? He's a head coach who doesn't know how to use time management
Right,
skills.
Yeah.
He burns all of his timeouts. He leaves the offense on the field.
Yeah,
and
you probably learn from
field goal attempts. They waste 15 seconds just trying to change personnel when they don't want to go for it. They've had a lot of delay of game penalties. One thing I want Nathaniel Hackett to do: fourth downs, if it's fourth and reasonable, and you're on the brink of field goal range, don't count to Brandon McManus. You brought in a quarterback, Russell Wilson, for a reason. Use him. Until I see that, I don't think Denver's going to be any good.
I see.
Russell Wilson, they brought in him. The fans were giving Hackett and Wilson the boo birds last week at home to Houston.
Yeah.
To Houston. They were getting booed when they were playing Houston.
Yeah.
I just need to see some better time management skills by Nathaniel Hackett. I got San Francisco winning this one easily.
Okay. Yeah, same here. And to end off on Friday Night Football,
We got the Poop Bowl.
The Poop Bowl. The Dallas Cowboys.
I don't know who agreed to have this on primetime.
New York Giants. Shout out to Wyatt's World on this TikTok we saw. Check them out on TikTok. But anyway, like you just said, I don't know who's. The Cowboys, won, against the Bengals, last week, which that was a surprise. I was prepared to see the Bengals actually win, but
I still think the field goal was no good. It looked like it was no good. I'm still going with it was no good.
Yeah, but I gotta say it's gonna be a close one. I say the Giants.
I can't stand either of these teams. Because the Dallas Cowboys fans harp how it's going to be their year every year. We're going to go to the Super Bowl. We're going to win the NFC East. We're not going to be one and done like we always are. Stop lying to yourselves. The Cowboys hype them up, and they just get let down. I mean, stop getting hyped up about this Dallas Cowboys team until there is a head coaching change. Nothing is going to change. It will still be one and done until Jerry Jones retires. It'll still be one and done. I don't like that they keep hyping up this Dallas. Oh, it's America's team. It's America's team, so we got to put them on prime time against the New York Giants. Hopefully that'll get ratings. No. The Cowboys, they're going to be a mediocre team this year. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you got a backup quarterback who's made 2 career starts. I don't like this team. I don't think they're going to be good. I don't think they're going to be competitive in the NFC East. This is the Eagles' division to lose, in my opinion. I don't think the Giants have played anyone good yet. Will they get tested in this game? Yes. Will it come down to Daniel Jones and seeing if he can make the throws and the right reads? Yes. But I want both of them to lose this game, but I know that's not going to happen. So I'm going to pick the New York Giants.
I hate to say I think it'd be the Cowboys, but I only want to see the Giants win so I can see my dad get pissed off though and ask him, y'all still them boys? And he'll say, it's still our year.
We them boys, it's still our year. It's still our year.
I don't want to talk about rant of the week.
You're only saying that so that you don't get grounded.
I want to talk about a rant though.
You're only saying that so that you don't get grounded. You're only saying that the Cowboys are going to win this so that you don't get grounded.
No, I'm not. Listen, here's a rant. Let's talk about that broadcasting I watched with the game cost game earlier, though. Some people, because I saw some comments, someone asked, they said, what do you think of the broadcast at halftime? Someone said, feels like when they come back from a commercial, the play has already started very frustrating. We need more defense to be able to hold it a little tighter on third down. The camera work is having a lot of vertical violence and LSD trip with people simultaneously screaming at and whispering to you. All right. Thank y'all for watching tonight's live stream. That was our special NFL week.
Don't forget Dallas still sucks.
And Dallas sucks, right here. But anyway, we'll see y'all next week. We'll do another afternoon live stream on Friday.
But this time we're going to break down the South Carolina game and other college football games around the nation.
And then we'll do an NFL one on Sunday next week, Sunday morning. So we will be doing 2 live streams next weekend and 1. Once again, my name is Charles. I'm right beside me with my friend Elijah Smith. Thank you all for watching. We're glad to be back on live streams. We're going to start doing more weekly sports live streams this all season coming up. And y'all have a good night.
Dallas still sucks.
And we'll see y'all next Friday.
Dallas still sucks.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.